We have much to discuss. There has been a hotfix balance update as of right now, March 18th. Actually, no, that's the replay codes, my bad. I don't even know what the date is. That's how disconnected I am. It says March 25th. Is it 25th or is it 26th? By the time the video goes up, is it the 27th? I don't even know anymore. But we are going to be sitting down and looking at these patch notes. Let's not waste any time. We're starting off with tank. Let's have a quick look. It's Mauga. All right, before we look into these things, I want to give my opinion and see what the devs do, because that's how I want to judge them from now on, right? If they do something good that I agree with, I'll be a fan of it. If they don't, I'll disagree with it. Okay, first of all, I think Mauga is unsalvageable. He is a very horribly designed hero, and no matter what they do, they cannot salvage him. If people remember back when Mauga first came out, and there was a massive complaint by the tank community then that why is a tank that is just good at bursting down other tanks even a thing? Around the time, I don't remember who said it, but one of the people on the team said that they're okay with having tanks that bust down other tanks. So like they're okay with having tank buster tank heroes, like basically like a Reaper, but that's a tank. That's not good game design. You're feeding into the problem of the game. So no matter what they do, Maug is a little bit unsalvageable. Can he be redeemed? Is there a future? Is there a way to do it? Yes, but right now what I need to see is Mauga needs to get gutted. So that's the first thing I need to see. Mauga's gotta go. Okay, and even with that new tournament around the corner, they better not be taking risk of another Mauga meta. All right, so here we go. Number one, cardiac overdrive no longer provides allies with a damage reduction. Good God, this is the biggest nerf they could have given this guy. Honestly, even this nerf alone could have just killed the character. This is a pretty big scroll bar thingy, so I'm sure there's more. But this is an insane nerf to the character. So the thing is, like, you could survive pulse bombs with cardiac overdrive on you, even if you were a 225, 250 HP character. If cardiac overdrive was on you, that's how much damage for his teammates he mitigated. Now, I'm not going to lie, in a way, I feel a little bit like I'm conflicted. In one way, this is really good for the health of the game. In another way, this is a very, very awkward change because now, as a tank, what does he bring? He's just Roadhog with Gatling guns now, right? So it's a little bit awkward from that perspective. But like in terms of like the nerf, it's actually very good. Thumbs up. Good change. So next nerf. Cage fight. Oh wow, they actually went for cage fight. So ultimate cost increased by 8% and the barrier health went down to 1200 from 1500. Very good changes. Honestly, like what else is there to say? He farms this thing really fast by like giga focusing tanks. It's really easy to do. I know Mauga in coordinated play is a little bit more different playstyle wise than ranked Mauga, but guys, come on, ranked Mauga is just look at the other tank, blow him up, move on with your life. So this had to happen. Although I would have pushed the ult cost to 10%. Cage fight is a very strong ultimate, very good ultimate. And oh wow, even more nerfs. Okay, so Berserker passive over health conversion rate down to 40% from 50%. Wow. Okay, so they basically guttered Mauga. Is there more? No, that's the stuff from Mauga. Okay, they actually just killed the character. They don't want to see him in the meta for a while. But my problem with this is like I feel 2 weeks from now we'll be back with like half of these getting reverted or some of these getting reverted. I don't know. I just think Mauga is not a design, not a character who can be salvaged. I think he's fun to play. Of course, anything can be fun to play if it just rolls over the other team. But I think like his core hero fantasy, why did they never lean into the heavy assault from the PvE missions and the way the PvE like the way the heavy assault plays over there? And just Mauga doesn't play anything like that. That's the thing that has me a little bit upset. If they made him a little bit similar to the heavy assault unit from Talon from the PvE missions, I think there's a way to salvage his playstyle. But just turning him into just a very watered down, boring, like straightforward tank, I don't think that's the way to go. So Mauga, sad to see the state that he's kind of he has to be in. But again, very easily accessible hero. And before I move on, a lot of people don't understand what balance is meant to be. Balance isn't meant to be that we make every hero viable or put them in a good spot. Balance's idea is that the healthier heroes are stronger than the unhealthier heroes, and the unhealthier heroes will thrive in their niches but should never be in a position where they are generalists where they can be played everywhere. Right now we have a problem with Torbjorn, Symmetra, and Mei, where the three of them are incredibly powerful and ranked, and the fact that none of them have gotten significant nerfs is a little bit stupid, but we'll get to them in another video in the near future. Moving on over to the next nerf, we're going to be going over to Roadhog, and okay, so take a breather. Healing has been increased to 450. Yeesh. Whole hog alt cost reduced. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like this direction for Roadhog is not balanced because they're trying to make him more and more viable until we reach a point where somehow Hog takes over the game, and then he's just a cheesy character. Like you cannot make Roadhog work as a tank. He's literally fat DPS. And the same thing with Mauga. He's just fat DPS. He's a fatter Reaper, and this is just also fat Reaper if you think about it. Both of them, Hog and Mauga. Mauga does a little bit things differently, but Hog's this whole niche is, well, I'm really good at just one-shotting people and taking them out. I don't know if giving him more survivability, and then like in the mid-season patch, we also got Hog getting a damage increase on the Big Pen. I don't know about this one, Chief. This is we're beginning to go into some really scary territory. Hog being able to survive this 50 healing is a pretty big deal, guys. Especially if like if he has a 𝐒𝐿𝐄𝐈𝐓𝐄𝐇 behind him. This is some really scary stuff. So we're gonna leave it here. Gonna leave Roadhog to himself. Move over to Winston. Primal Rage alt cost increased by 10%. Was this necessary? Was this really necessary? Is he? I don't think Winston was building Primal that fast, was he? And did Winston, like, Winston's one of the healthiest, if not the healthiest tank in the game. Is he a character that ever needs to be properly nerfed or changed? See, like, when we start messing with characters like Winston, Tracer, like, this is where we start to, like, question the balance team that what are we doing here? You know? So, particularly, I'm not a fan of this change. I don't understand the logic here. Why are we increasing Winston's alt cost? Like, this is a little bit awkward. Maybe something in their data is like, oh, he's doing a little bit more like this or this. I don't know, but again, why are we balancing off data? And Winston, like, there's like what, like 7 million counters to this character in the game, and he could just blow up in the hands of a bad player. So don't know about this one, Chief. Really not a big fan of this one. But moving over to Zarya, hope it's a nerf, but the degeneration rate increased from 2 to 2.5%. This is such a slap on the wrist. Guys, balance team, if there's anybody from the Overwatch team or anybody with connections to the Overwatch team that ever watches this video, please, Zarya is an obnoxious as hell tank. She's just the most unfun tank to play against. I would rather play against Orisa, Mauga, Hog than have to deal with Zarya. Zarya's whole like bubble loop management and this and that. Like, yes, you can burn down her bubble and everything, but the way she's playing right now, once her perks come online, she is so nightmarish to deal with. Her perks are incredibly powerful. I think Zarya is, at least in ranked and quick play, she's an absolute menace. So please, this is not enough. There needs to be more. I don't understand why we're being careful with Zarya. She's strong at her skill floor, and she really doesn't have that much of a high skill ceiling. I think Zarya has a place in the game, but when they turn her into like the be all end all tank right now, really not a fan of it. So hope there's more nerfs to her soon. Please, this is way too little. She's still going to be a very strong tank right now. Moving on over to Cassidy. Oh, hit scan buffs. Yikes. It is buffs, right? Yeah, increase. Oh, Jesus. Okay. So, Peacekeeper. Primary fire fall off range has been increased from 20 to 25, and secondary fire damage increased from 45 to 50. Okay, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I understand out of, like, we don't like hit scan buffs, and I really hope there's not more hit scan buffs down there. Echo changes. I'm a bit curious about that. I'm an Echo player myself. But, so I can't, to some extent, agree that Cassidy is kind of poo-poo. He's really bad. Okay? And he did need this range back, and it's not that much of a jump. I think back in Overwatch 1, it was 30, I believe, or 35. So he'll have his moments where the damage falls off like crazy. And then the secondary fire buff was probably to help with his like other perk to become more viable. This is more of a wait and see type thing, but honestly, I am okay with this. But if one of these gets a bit too out of hand, I would like to see them quickly like intervene. I don't personally think Cassidy is that bad. I think some of the support lineups, as the state of support, if support was a lot weaker right now, I think Cassidy would see a lot more playtime. He just struggles against like the healing numbers, and then like tank sustain is really strong. And again, it's just the current state of armor. I think those things hurt Cassidy a lot more than people want to give it credit for. So I'm open-minded to these changes, but it's like, hey, if they overperform, let's pull it back. So a bit of a 50-50 on this one. All right, Echo. Base health down to 150. Whoa. Shield health increased from 0 to 75. Oh, okay, so they just gave her 75 shield health. Wow, okay, so wait. Pharah has to get it on a perk, but Echo just outright gets it right away. Isn't that kind of weird? Because Pharah needs it more than Echo does. That's kind of weird. And there's no Pharah either. Usually after, Echo there's Pharah or something. But Okay, also after Echo, it's Genji and then Hanzo. The fact that there's no Hanzo, guys, what are we doing? Why are there no Hanzo changes? The hero is actual dog water. He's actual dog water. You can't play Hanzo anywhere, please. Like, what are we doing? Soldier 76. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, so Soldier needs help, and it's not a damage chain. It is a projectile size increase. Why are we giving him bigger projectile? What is the point of this? What does this do, Blizzard? Please, please, somebody answer the question. What does this do? What does it do? What is his problem? His problem is he cannot secure kills against the current state of support. Supports have been gigabuffed by perks again. They're not giving him the breakpoint increase. They're not even buffing Helix Rocket in any way. I know Stimpack is a little bit of a help, but Stimpack really doesn't do what you guys keep trying to preach that, hey, Stimpack is, it kind of helps. It's like, oh no, it does not. It really does not. You have to get to level 3 for Stimpack to be viable. What is he doing up until level 3, bro? By the point you're even reaching level 3 or level 2, you're deciding to swap out this character because he just doesn't do enough against the current state of healing and the state of tank sustain in the game. Soldier needs 19 to 20 damage, please. He has it in 6v6, and even in 6v6, he's not that good. What are we afraid of? Soldier 76 is one of the most honest characters in the game. I can even understand Hanzo being Kepupu, but Soldier 76 is the most harmless, like, diveable, brawlable, contestable character on like half the other DPS sources. Like, this is the one character that we're okay with having strong, and they're just like always avoiding doing it to him. I don't understand the logic. This is oh my god, I almost said a word that I should not have. But this is such a stupid change. Okay, I am fasting. I need to kind of keep it down, but I need to kind of watch myself. But this is a very stupid change. Very stupid change. This is not how you help the character. Making characters easier to play is not solving their problem. Like, giving him the projectile size does not mean he's going to break through the boundaries of the current healing and damage breakpoints or the sustained armor breakpoints. Come on now. This stupid. Soldier, I hope to God that you get nerfed. Power slide cooldown up to 8 seconds, and then the max duration in power slide down to 1 second from 1.2. What the hell is this change? Like, we know where the problem is. Why are we making, see, this I said this years ago. I said this years ago when they were nerfing supports as well, because I do want support nerfs, but I don't like it when we make heroes clunkier. I swear to God, stop this trend. Why do we try to bunny hop around characters and their strength points and instead make the rest of their kit feel worse, so that this way it's like, okay, well, she's strong in the comboing one shot department, but her movement is garbage now. And so that's not how you make the character fun to play. You just make the character more frustrating to play and just more awkward to play against, because the character just looks weird. This is one of those weird changes. What are we doing here? Weird change. It is a nerf. I will take the nerf, but is it solving Soldier's problems right now? No. And then when they do get around to solving Soldier's problems, we're just going to end up in a scenario again where, like, then her movement's going to feel bad. It's basically what happened with Juno, and a lot of people, like, I like Juno a lot. I don't think Juno is that bad. It was really the initial set of buffs that they gave Juno that broke the character like crazy, and a lot of people don't realize the reason Juno is so strong or broken, or like why she's able to do what she's able to do, is simply because of the torpedo changes that they gave Juno. And the one thing that they refused to take away from Juno is the torpedo changes. And what happened with the torpedo changes not being changed? Juno has the worst fall off in the game, has a very pathetically slow charging ultimate. Okay, her ring is fine, like it's fine for what it is. Her gameplay like just feels awkward, and because the fall off applies to her damage too, trying to duel somebody at mid range, it feels miserable on the character. So I don't want the same treatment for Sojourn. Like, I don't believe that you make the character's gameplay loop feel worse. You just address their strength point and find a way to redistribute power. And the fact that they didn't do that for Sojourn is stupid, because if they don't solve the Sojourn problem, we're going to see more and more of this happen. They'll probably make her E worse to use. They'll probably like make her primary worse to use, all with the excuse that, yeah, but she can one-shot though. And that's just stupid, man. Come on, we can do better with Sojourn. Widowmaker, what the whoa, almost broke my fast saying a bad word there. Base health increase from 200 to 225. I almost said the R word that translates to a mega version of stupid earlier, but now I'm tempted to say the R word and break my fast, but ain't nothing bigger than my loyalty to my lord. But outside of my loyalty to my lord, there's nothing bigger than Blizzard's loyalty for trying to buff Widowmaker into relevancy. What the hell is this? What are we thinking? Why is she back to 225 HP? What is this, Blizzard? Are we trying to sell that mythic skin? Is it actually true? Are we actually balancing the game around mythic skins? And oh my god, like, this is ridiculous. Why is she back to 225? Why? 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 Oh, she's not performing in gold or silver because people can't aim in those elos. Giving them more HP is not going to change that. She is still strong. She is still a menace on Circuit Royale, on Havana. What are we doing, Blizzard? Why is Widowmaker getting a buff, man? The game is actually fun right now, and we're deciding to buff Widowmaker of all things. I mean, they just can't. I don't know what is this. Like, this is the hit scan buff patch outside of Sojourn, but she's already strong, so it doesn't matter. Come on, brother, Ana, it better be a nerf, bro. It better be a nerf to the double nanoing perk. That thing is way too stupid. Biotic Grenade. So in the non-66 game modes, the cooldown has gone up from 12 to 40. What? And then the cooldown has been increased from 10 to 12 and 60. Well, okay, so again, we're just making these characters worse to play than addressing the actual abilities or anything that is a strength point. This is not the direction that we're supposed to take these characters. Well, what is the point? If Ana is still strong, what are we going to do? Push her Biotic Grenade to 30-second cooldown, to 20-second cooldown, to balance it out and how much of an impact it can have in a fight. Come on, Blizzard. Rework the ability. It doesn't work in 5v5. You cannot balance with these two different things like this. This is stupid. This is why 5v5 has been stupid. Like, as much as I want to give 5v5 a chance, this is why these things are stupid. It's because this is what they're doing to get 14-second cooldown. 14-second cooldown. What is this? Strike. Self-venomous duration reduced from 8 to 6. Why don't we address the perk? Why did we nerf the timer? It just feels weird and inconsistent. Why don't we just make it so that if she nanos herself, the effect on herself is half the effect of another target, or something like that? Why do we touch the duration? Why do we touch the duration? It doesn't nerf the ability. When she's using it is when she's getting dived. If she's using it defensively, is it because she's getting dived, and she will use it defensively with another DPS most of the time if the Ana has a functioning brain cell that sadly a lot of them don't anymore. And she's going to buff up the DPS and they're just going to delete the tank and delete like the DPS that came in with that tank that dived her, and then they'll move on. This doesn't solve the problem. The biotic need change just makes her even clunkier to play. This is stupid. There's a better way to approach the state of Ana. I have said for countless years, just rework the bio nade to a 90% heal reduction. You will still get the effect that you want, but it will be a lot more balanceable and it'll be a lot more better, but we just refuse to do it because of stubbornness, because of not understanding how to approach characters without making them unfun to play. We are just going to make characters that are strong, unfun to play, and that is not the direction that the game needs to go down. I'm not a fan of the Ana changes. The strike change is whatever, it's ignorable at best. It doesn't solve the problem. The biotic change over here for the grenade is extremely, extremely weird. Big question mark. It's the perks. We need to look at the perks before we can look at anything else on Ana. I don't know. This is just not me. Juno, why is Juno being touched? Juno is not even that strong. She's literally not even that strong. Orbital rate. I swear to God, if it's another ultimate cost increase, I'm gonna lose my mind. Nerf the torpedoes. Why are we touching the ultimate? I swear it's gonna be the ultimate cost. I swear to. Why? The reason she's charging it so fast. Okay. I actually have to give everybody a class. I'm a teacher now, by the way. I'm a teacher myself. I'm a teacher in training, actually doing an internship. But now I actually have to go and teach everybody why the alt charges so fast. Because even the balance team cannot figure out why is the alt charging quote unquote fast. All right, here's Juno. Okay, here's Juno. You want to know how many things we made feel like ass for Juno? This fall off interaction is garbage. Okay, she has the E, which is pretty strong. Okay. She has her shift, she has good movement, okay? It's a little bit clunky and can feel a little bit weird. She can hover, all that is fine, okay? All that is fine. Now, what is the problem with Juno? All right, when Juno initially came out to the live servers, okay, everybody said that, okay, we think she's fine, she could use a little buff, but why don't we give it into the mechanical part of the character, which is the left click, right? So what did they do? They nerfed the left click, and then they progressively made the numbers weirder over time. And what they did was they buffed this so that it could do more damage and it could do more healing. The problem with this is potentially in a team fight, and then, like, you know, if you're behind your team or your team is pushing up, during a team fight with your team and the enemy team, and you take a nice little high ground and you lock into as many people as possible, you can potentially hit up to like almost everybody on your team and some people on the enemy team, but maximum you can hit everybody in the lobby with this, assuming you get it off. The potential is there, right? when you're hitting and tapping all these people with, like, I think the damage number is 80 or 70, it doesn't matter. Like, the fact is that it's hitting everybody, right? Once this thing hits everybody over and over and over again, and the cooldown time is really not that high either. It's 10 seconds, but it comes up relatively fast enough. She's got the sustain to draw out the fight as well in her left click. When you keep tapping everybody with this right click over and over and over again, what happens is you're building your ult very, very fast, because you're touching so many different people in the lobby, right? Try to understand, like, you build ult charge depending, like, on support, whether you heal or damage a target. So if you maximize that potential by locking into as many people as possible and increasing your uptime, you're gonna build the ult really fast. Now nerfing an ult charge over and over and over again makes Juno feel worse and worse and worse to play. This is not the direction to take some of these characters. So, like, I again, just it is so awkward. We're just making these characters clunkier to play. So when it comes to the patch, Mauga change is thumbs up. Okay, they get a 10 out of 10 here. Roadhog change is a bit of a question mark, but I'm willing to let slide and pass, because whatever. He's really not that hard to deal with, and pretty much all his counters are very strong. But I don't want to see him become meta. So Hawk change is 50-50. I'll let it slide. Not a fan of the Winston change, but letting it slide. Zarya change is a big downer. This is not, like, she should have been addressed even more. Really not a fan of this change. I really dislike Zarya. It's not enough. It's a slap on the wrist. So thumbs down here. They lose a point here. Cassidy changes. Okay, he needs it, as much as I don't like Hitscan power creep. He's kind of really poo-poo. So thumbs up here. Echo change is very nice, actually. Thumbs up here. Soldier change, not the right way to go. Thumbs down. It doesn't solve his problems. He's still poo-poo. Sojourn change, not the way to solve the character. It's just making them clunkier and weirder to play. It's just not the direction. So thumbs down here. Thumbs down on the Widowmaker change. 50-50 on the Ana change. I would have approached it a lot more differently. Juno change, really not a fan. Thumbs down. Overall, like, it is addressing some of the stronger characters, except Juno, because, like, come on, brother, Juno is really not that strong. And again, even if we are trying to address Juno and she is strong at, like, maybe, like, really coordinated play, then for God's sake, look at the torpedoes, look at the E, let her gameplay loop with her healing and damage feel natural and consistent. Do not make these characters unfun to play. It is not fun for anybody. So overall, I think the patch is fine. It's a good patch, even though there's some things I'm a bit 50-50 and not necessarily agreeing with the direction of. They could have done better. They could have done better, but, like, given their track record, this is a big upgrade compared to everything else. Anyways, Overwatch is still enjoyable to play right now. So I will see you guys in tomorrow's video, where we'll most likely do a tier list. So see you then.